Welcome back to E-Erotic the brand. Hi, my name is Eden Lee Middleman. And today we're going to talk about apps, dating apps, and I have like very mixed emotions and feelings. And I was that girl that for the longest time looked down upon those apps. I thought that only weird, socially awkward people used apps. I thought that people that, maybe had something to hide were hiding behind a screen. I had a very old-fashioned, old mentality view on online dating. I thought it was only creeps, weird shit. Did I want like my face splattered on some random's phone? Like it was fucking weird. Until this day, I do find certain aspects of it to be unhealthy and weird. I don't actually think that dating apps are the healthiest, way of dating. I don't think that they're super reliable or something you should be on long term. And so this video is going to break down sort of my guide to how to use a dating app. My experience on dating apps were for like a few months. So I'm engaged now to the man that I met on Hinge. It was the beginning of summer, or shall I say late spring, and I got out of a very tumultuous relationship, and it was a hot minute. I had to like recover from it, which again, if you want to move forward and actually have the potential to seriously date, you do want to get rid of all the baggage. You do want to kind of put a beautiful bow on that and call it the end to a chapter. My exes are always blocked. I don't go and date several people at the same time. I don't have that time. I don't believe that I can be a present dater that way. And to be honest, I didn't want to hoe myself out because, no offense, but I think I deserve a little bit better than that. And I don't really think people deserve me in that way. You know what I mean? You gotta earn it. So just so you know, that was my headspace going into these apps. For the longest time, I was like, ew, I can't use apps. Like, I can get people out and about. Like, I don't need the apps. It was kind of like COVID, end of that era, sort of. And so it was not like super comfortable to go out quite yet, like all the way, even though things were opening up and were kind of open at that point. All my friends were like, just try it, just do it, just try it. And like I used to fuck around on my friends' apps and we would joke around and like see who's on there and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to give myself a test run. If I don't like it, I'm deactivating it. I only enjoyed Hinge. I never, ever went on Tinder. I found that the reputation of Tinder became such a hoe app at the time that I was downloading apps. I was like, I don't even want to be a part of it. I don't want my face on there. I don't want people to think that I'm down to fuck. Even if I was down to fuck, I don't want to come across that way. Sorry, And I don't want to have to like dodge those losers left, right, and center. It's a waste of my time. So I came in with a clear mission and intention on using these apps. Was I looking for a serious relationship? No. But was I not open to one? No. I was very open, okay? I didn't come in rigid. I sure as hell didn't come in there to waste my time or others. And so I knew that when I was going to use the apps, it was going to be intentional and I was going to try and make dates out of them. And if dates didn't work, then no worries, on to the next. Like I was very clear with the plan before I even got on the app. So this is my number one thing for app success. And in general in life, what is your intention? Like, what is the goal here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Do you guys even fucking think about that? Sometimes you don't. And I know it sounds so simple. Like, you think I'm going to fucking create a whole proposal or a whole plan for me to download a goddamn app? No, but just why don't you put like a little bit more thought than you usually do? Just give yourself a minute and be like, okay, I'm going to give myself maybe a time frame, a time period. I'm going to only use it to this extent. This is my mission. I want to get off the app. I want to get numbers, or my mission is to have a quick fuck, or my mission is to, find potentials and go on dates or practice dating, or just trying to expand my network of people that I know. Whatever the case may be, make sure it's clear and concise. So you're not going in there and then having other people's intentions swing you their way. You know what I mean? When you don't know what you're doing on an app, it's very easy for somebody else to kind of call the shots. And that's what happens with a lot of people on the apps. And that's why you're unhappy on apps. And that's why you have app fatigue, dating app fatigue, something that I will get into later on in this episode. So just stay tuned because it's super important that you know about dating app fatigue, because most of you are either currently experiencing it or will experience it. I want you to take your dating app profile seriously. Be honest with your profile, okay? yes, like, you know, everyone's rolling their eyes, especially the guys, like, yeah, sure, like, be honest, like, nobody's honest, like, everyone, you know, is like fine tuning everything, including their photos. And that is true. In an ideal world, we'd all be very upfront. We kind of would see what we get, kind of thing, you know, in terms of height, in terms of like job, in terms of like, you know, the bullshit prompts. Are you really answering them honestly? Answer them as honestly, but in a more polished version, obviously. You want to put your best face forward. Don't throw in a pixelated, ugly photo. Don't take the prompt not seriously and make a joke out of it, or like not answer, leave a period. Like some guys I remember when I was on the app would just like leave periods and like not answer the prompts. And here's the thing. It's like, yes, those prompts are kind of cheesy. And yes, we all don't really want to fill them out. But if I'm going to partake in this, I'm going to put a little bit of effort. And that says something about me, just like a little bit, not too much, because too much gives desperate, right? You want to be balanced. You want to be like, okay, I'm on this app, so I'm going to like fill out what I need to fill out, but I'm also not going to be so overwhelming with the information I give off, because let's save that for a later date. Or like, I don't want people to think I'm taking this too seriously. So a healthy medium, like what would you want to attract? Somebody who has fucking Bibles on their prompts? No. So why are you doing that? Or would you really swipe right on somebody who like doesn't answer the prompts? If the answer is no, then don't do that. When I was swiping and I saw people that wouldn't answer the prompts, or like would be like question mark or something stupid, I was like, is this person either dumb, or like this person doesn't give a fuck, or gives me player vibes, like I'm too cool to do this, you know? Yeah, you're too cool to do this, but you're on the fucking app. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's a bit of humility here with all of us being on this app and like signing up for this. So like, just keep it real with me. Even if they were hot, even if their stats were like interesting to me, I would still swipe fuck no on them if they didn't take the prompts somewhat seriously, you know, without doing too much. Just like whatever comes to mind, an organic answer. That's all. I just want to like get a feel for who you are. So make sure you fill out your profile to the best of your abilities. I'm also going to go ahead and say, now with the way the world is, be honest about your political views, be honest about like certain things like that, just because those are non-negotiables, okay? Like, be honest about the non-negotiables. Be honest about the height that you can't change. Be honest about like whatever it is that you can't change, or like what makes up you, which is your morals, your values, your beliefs. Like, you know, I don't want to go on a fucking date and find out that this person has like whack political views in comparison to mine, and I take my political views very seriously. And so if somebody isn't like open to mine or is totally against mine, like, ciao, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with you. That's not my cup of tea. So I really did appreciate people who were honest about their political views. Even if it was opposite of mine, I'm happy if they were to swipe yes on me and I would get like a little notification that somebody liked me. I'd be like, oh wow, we have opposing views. He can see that, but he still swiped right. Maybe he's like open. Maybe he's cool. Maybe he's chill. Maybe worth a date, you know? Let me decide. So I think that that's also something to be open and honest about, because don't waste your fucking time otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to have a fucking political debate at dinner, okay? You're going to get more swipes too. This is just the truth. With your profile filled out. That's it. The more I know, the more I'm like, all right, I'm more certain of swiping right. Here's the thing with, at least for women, the more information a woman has, the more comfortable she is with making a decision about swiping right or swiping left. As stupid as that decision might be, if you want more swipes and if you want people to take notice of you, having a filled out, like put together profile does make a fucking difference. Girls are very hesitant, and like the one prompt can make her say yes. You know what I mean? Or the fact that you filled out like everything decently could make her be like, okay, cool. Like, I got it, you know, great. But if you leave things too ambiguous and if you don't fill it out, like, she's going to be like, you know what, on the safe side, no. So just keep that in mind. A lot of women are erring on the side of caution more so on these apps. If you want to look legit on these apps, and if you do want to get more swipes, and if you do want to get more attention, please, 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 the first photo has to be you and you only. I'm not trying to be shallow, but I'm going to be straight the fuck honest with you guys. The guys that I would like swipe no on, even if they were good looking, are the ones that had only selfie photos. So like, you don't go out and people don't take pictures of you. Like, I'm sensing socially awkward. I'm sensing got no friends. I'm sensing, I don't know, like you're cooped up in your room, like you haven't been out in a hot minute. I don't know. Like I get that vibe from that, and most people don't want to say it because it doesn't sound very nice, but like you got to hear this, my friend. Okay, you got to hear this. You're fucking welcome. So first photo, picture of you, ideally not selfie. Okay, girl, can do it differently. But I think both for girl and guy, the safest rule here and the most attractive, the most like, okay, they're cool. Someone's taking a photo of them, even if they're not. Prop up a fucking tripod, I don't know, in public, out somewhere, and take a normal photo. I want to be able to see you. Lay off the shades, the hat, take that shit off. Okay, it can be one photo, not the first one. I want to see who the fuck you are in the first one. Okay? The other ones can be more like hobbies, cheesy shit, more creative, maybe in your group of friends. Ideally, not group of friends. And I'll tell you why. I know some people are like, well, it's a group photo, or like it shows my friend group and maybe we have similar circles. To some people like it, some people don't. I always say err on the side of caution, because if your friends are hotter than you, people are going to be comparing, and that's just human nature. And, dating apps are very shallow, and dating apps are essentially you swiping. It's like a fucking, what my mom would call it, a meat market. Like, it is very surface level. Okay. So people do compare, people do look at looks, people take the photos very seriously. I went on a date with this one guy who basically catfished me, essentially. His photos were of him like 10 years younger. He photoshopped his teeth. His height was off. He said he was taller than me. I showed up at the date, I was taller than him. I'm not a short girl. So when you lie about your age and I show up, I'm going to call you the fuck out on it, because I am a pretty good measuring stick here. I'm 5'8.5". Like, I'm not short. So I know what a 5'9" man is and what a 6'3" guy is. I know the difference here. So I don't really care about the height situation as much. Just don't lie about it. I dated a guy who was shorter than me. I had no fucking problem with it. It is what it is. It's more of the guys that are more insecure about it. Girls are just talking a lot of nonsense. They don't even know what a 6'2" guy really is. So, that's why I know a lot of guys are lying about the height. But as a girl who does know heights, don't lie. Don't be caught in that, okay? Because then she's going to be like, ugh, what else are you lying about? Don't start off like with a fucking facade. What are you trying to reel them in, and then what? What do you think's going to happen? People think that once you reel them in, you win them with your personality, they'll overlook those things. But unfortunately, first impressions are everything. So if they think that you're fucking 6'2" and you show up as a 5'9" guy, she's already going to be looking at you the whole date. You can be so charismatic, so amazing on paper for her, exactly what she was looking for. But because of that lie, she's going to be looking at you like she already has a negative lens on you, and it's going to be very hard to break it. So while you might think it's a great way to reel her in, it actually never works out. I don't know one girl who has been like kind of manipulated in that way and it worked out. I don't know one girl, and I have many of my girlfriends who have and still are on dating apps who talk to me about this all the time. So never worked. I didn't go on a second date with this gentleman just because of that fact. His personality was great. I liked him, but it was a turn off that he lied about it, that those photos were 10 years, whatever. I did not appreciate that he catfished me, And that was just like bitter. And I'm like, oh, he's out here deceiving other women. And I'm just like, like already I can tell you're insecure about how you look now. I can tell that you're insecure about your height because you lie about your height. Like, I don't want an insecure man, because to me, an insecure man is the most dangerous man. Like, that's where my mind went the whole fucking date. So I was like, you know what? It's been great. Ciao. Never saw him again. So before you get on the app, make sure you have decent pictures. Make sure you have as many pictures as they say is the best for you. I think it's like 4. Some apps might be less or more. Good ones, recent ones, like just keep it fucking real. Keep it fucking real. It's so funny because I honestly feel like people's disappointment with dating apps and them going on dates is their fault. Like, it always comes from you if you think about it. And you guys know how I work here on this channel and my, coaching style. I always ask, what did I have to do with this? Because I can only control me. I can only better myself. I can't do anything about the world around me. Like, I really can't. It's just me and that's it. That's all that I'm responsible for. So what about me? What did I do about setting up my profile that made this date not work out? Or how did I approach creating this date that made this date not great? Doesn't mean that you're always 100% to blame if it doesn't go your way on every date that you go on from a dating app, but you do have a part in it. So what is the part and how big is the part? So if you're wondering why she didn't call you back, or if you're wondering why he, didn't seem interested, during the whole entire date, did you catfish him? Did you lie? What on the profile made him want to see you? And then when he saw you, he didn't want you, didn't seem interested in you. Yes, it could be a personality thing. Yes, it could be a vibe thing. But a lot of us catfish without even knowing. I know a lot of men on YouTube. Love to give you guys advice about how to set up the profile and what women like. Every woman is fucking different. That's first and foremost, just like every man is. So, one size doesn't always fit all. Like, wake up, Johnny boy. But also, why are you copying what this one guy is doing when that's not you? You don't look like him. You don't have that. You don't work in that industry. Like, and then she's going to find out and then she's just going to be like, ew. Then you're going to be pissed off that you paid for the date or you went on a date or you spent so much time on her. You get mad about shit that you've done. You did this. You catfished her or him. So, like, why are you getting pissed off? You know what I mean? And then you're like, all women are the same. All women are this. All men are that. That's why it's very important to just be fucking straight the fuck up. Like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. And, like, some people are going to really fucking vibe with that. And, here's the thing. It's the most refreshing thing because so many people can't do that. So, like, you're already winning just doing you. If you have social media, this could be a plus or minus to your dating app profile. Like, make sure they know that you have that. Even write it on your profile, okay? Now, this is controversial because people are like, oh, people who put their Instagram just like want like random followers or random people. Yes and no, but they are validating that they are a real person, A, for security reasons. A lot of women immediately, and I'm sure men do this too, will put your name in Google. Okay, we'll try and find you online. So they see your profile, you guys match, you guys are talking. Before like there's any plans to be made, they will vet you. Okay, we're all secret little stalkers. We're all gonna double check who the fuck you are and like what your social media presence is, especially nowadays where people are getting more and more like particular about your following list, like who are you following? Do you have mutuals? Sometimes that's good to know because just for safety reasons, if you're like doing it in the same radius, you want to know, like, make sure he's not friends with my fucking ex. Like, there's so many reasons why social media is beneficial to verify that you are a real human being, that your photos match up, that they're not wasting their time, not getting catfished, all that stuff. That's why it's very important that your app like really does represent who you are, because sometimes you won't even make it to the first date and all of a sudden they'll just ghost you because they found some shit about you online. Just keep that in mind. And instead of them having to like research it and find it and like it being a big secret, just like lay it out on the table. If there's a way to link your profile, I'm not sure how the apps are built nowadays. I know that there's probably different options now. You can link other social media profiles like your Instagram to your actual dating profile. You should be doing that because they're going to find it regardless. So here you go. Here's some proof and evidence. Make sure your social media is clean the fuck up. Because here's the thing, my men and my ladies, if you're following a bunch of like, you guys know what I'm going to say, like Insta hoes, OnlyFans girls, guys that are like posers and flexers and like muscle men and like whatever the fuck, people look at who you're following, okay? Because it says more about you than what you fucking post, honestly, nowadays. What you choose to consume, okay? You have an option of what to consume and you're choosing to consume that content. We already know what kind of person you are, what you're into. And it doesn't sit well with a lot of people nowadays. Like, people don't want to deal with that anymore. They don't want to deal with a man that like does that, single or not, or a woman that like likes that shit, single or not. You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Who really are you? And the following list says it all. So if I were you, I would have a clean profile. I mean, you should just have that as, housekeeping practices. Just like make sure you're not consuming stupid shit and make sure it makes sense with your profile. Make sure it aligns, because again, if there is like a little off detail here, it's going to raise some red flags and people won't be swiping as much or won't be interested in pursuing shit with you because they're like, red flag. So try not to turn off people before the actual date. I found guys that held babies kind of obnoxious. I'm like, oh my God, you want me to think that you're so good with kids? Like, I don't know. For me, it was just like, I don't need to see that. I don't give a shit. Stop holding someone else's baby. Like, I know this sounds stupid, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I didn't buy into like the babies. I didn't buy into like always animal photos. Like if you have an animal, show it. It's very important. I'm a big animal lover. But like if every single photo of you is at some like public fucking farm, like, do you think I'm buying your fucking act? Like, oh, McDonald, like, chill. I think that there's tasteful ways of showing and like hinting rather than being like, oh, I am such a wholesome man. Like, if you need to scream that from the rooftops, I don't trust it. I liked that the prompts in some of these guys that I went on dates with were pretty simple, sometimes like funny, had dry humor, showcased a little bit of the personality without it seeming like they tried hard. Like, for all I know, they could have spent hours creating this one-liner, but it gave me the impression that they didn't. So it doesn't matter how long you really spent on creating the dating app, as long as it reads as if you're chill, like, oh, I came up with that, or, something simple. Yes, this is part of the deception of dating apps. This is the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. Is it right? No. But at the end of the day, if you're going to fucking fill out a prompt, put in some thought. I'd rather you put in some thought than give it no thought, right? We already spoke about this. I also kept an eye how long I was using the app and how long some of these men were on the apps. How do you keep track of that? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is part of the dating app fatigue whole epidemic that I want to speak to you guys about. I've said in countless videos, live streams that I've done on TikTok, dating app fatigue. You cannot be on any dating app longer than maximum 3 months, and even 3 months is pushing it, because depending on how big or small your radius is, let's say it's at medium size. Okay. First of all, if your radius is so large and you're meeting people from like, 2 towns away, like, also red flag, weird. Okay. Like, keep it small, keep it simple. Don't be on the dating app for forever, because when I was swiping, I would see the same guy for a while. And I was like, what are you doing on here for so long?
Ariana, what are you doing here?
You're probably a fucking player. You're probably a guy that like gets some matches and then like goes on dates, stays on the app and like keeps scrolling and like never commits. Like, that's what it's giving. People on the apps that stay on the apps, and I've seen your fucking profile a few times already throughout the past little while. I'm like, no. Even if I was maybe yes at one point, it's a no. Because what it's telling me is that there's something wrong with you, that you're still on this app. And that is the truth. Okay? That is the truth. That's why a lot of apps are trying to market themselves as an app that you're supposed to delete. I think that that's like Hinge's slogan or line. The point isn't to be on the app for too long, because if you're on the app for too long, you're not doing well on the app, right? That's what it says. And this is where I realized, that there's a certain level, a certain amount of time, a certain time frame, like a limit to dating apps to avoid dating app fatigue. So I'm not like overly stimulated with all these fucking people. I'm not seeing the same people all over again. I'm not like feeling discouraged about myself, feeling like, oh shit, like maybe I'm not doing well, but maybe I don't look good. Maybe I'm not this, maybe I'm not that. You need to delete it, okay? For that reason, but also for the reason that people are seeing you on this app for, just a minute too long or a day too long. And they're like, what is wrong with her? Something's not right if she's still on this app. Now, here's a way to go around it. I'm not saying that you should get on an app and immediately find the love of your life. I was lucky that happened to me, and I know I sound maybe a bit hypocritical. It did take me a few months, mind you, and I did delete the app I was using, once or twice throughout the period, because I wanted to enjoy my summer. I told myself, okay, I'm going to use the app for like, a month or less than a month. And then like all the dates that I go on, great. If it doesn't go farther than that, fine. I'm getting off the app. I'm going to go out and do like old fashioned dating and like getting out there and talking to people and just enjoying my summer, maybe pausing on dating. I just allowed myself to feel the things I want to feel and not to stress myself out about dating. I was not in a rush to like find a partner, and that's always been my mentality. And I always ended up in long-term relationships because I didn't go in with that like sense of desperation or, like hunger for that. I didn't seem like I was lacking. I was very content being with myself or with a partner. Also, getting on and off the apps allows you to have that break mentally. And then like people forget that you're on the app when you get off of it for a while, when you like deactivate it, okay? And they don't see you on there. And then you pop up a month later and you're new, right? And a lot of apps will have this little thing on the top of your profile when they see your profile and they're swiping that like you're new here. So they're like, oh, fresh meat, oh, she just got on this app. Ooh, she's someone new. It's already off the bat more intriguing. Now, if you're going on, off the app, I'm sure apps have certain restrictions and I'm sure you can get banned from doing that. So all I'm saying is take literal, like genuine breaks, okay? Like that are over a decent amount of time, not just like a day or two or a week, because people that are on the app will notice that. I did notice a guy that was doing that would like go on, off, and he'll always show as new. I'm like, motherfucker, come on. You're not fooling anybody here. These are the things that I was like looking for, feeling for, would avoid, generally speaking. And how I met my man was very interesting. I remember maybe we matched or something, but I didn't really pay much attention. His photos, which is funny enough, they were like clear or whatever, but they weren't like, I don't know, they didn't showcase him as like a really good looking guy. They like showed him as like a really chill, not too hot, not too like he just had a mixture of photos. It didn't show his career. He wasn't like very like career oriented. He plays soccer. So it wasn't just like him playing soccer and showing off like, I'm an athlete. I would have immediately swiped no. which is funny. I would have immediately swiped no because I'm not into, like, I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with, like, athlete and, like, guy who, like, his whole identity is, like, him playing a sport. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't like that. I didn't want that. Didn't, been there, done that. So I was happy that kind of, like, wasn't at the forefront. Like, there was one photo where it looked like he was on a field, but it was, like, a close-up, and it wasn't an action shot. It was, like, a pretty tasteful photo that I could see his face. This is what he looks like, This is what he looks like. These are his features. But I didn't understand the whole field thing because he didn't make it obvious that he was like, whoa, I think if you're also a professional athlete or like somebody in the public eye, it shouldn't be super obvious that you are, It shows a bit of humbleness when you're a little bit more modest about those things. If you're flexing in front of cars, if you're like doing all that stuff, you're going to attract the wrong person. That's just like the truth. You know what I mean? And he obviously wasn't on the app to attract girls who were going to fangirl or think like, oh my God, like, a certain type of lifestyle he can provide for me. Only after we went on a few dates, I realized that he was, a pro athlete, like only after. And I was like, ooh, but he doesn't seem like all the others, So that was like a modest, humble deception thing that kind of worked out in his favor. So if you're doing it to be humble and if you're doing it to be like just chill, then I think it's acceptable because it won't attract the wrong people and it won't read off as like you're a fucking show off. Speaking of photos, just like another side note that I don't want to forget, just like you should be deleting the app and kind of going ghost, don't change your photos all the time to think that that's going to update your chances of getting more swipes, because people notice that too. If they notice your name, they notice a man that looks similar to you, but like then again, they see the same thing and you're switching your photos all the time. There's something wrong with you. You're catfishing, you're not getting swipes, and you're just screaming it out for everyone to know. So don't change your photos constantly. When you first pick them, honestly, just stick with them throughout the entire experience. So make sure when you do pick those photos that they are good photos. Don't get on the app until you have at least 3 or 4 decent photos of yourself. The first one should be just of you. The other one can be something a little bit more like you out and about, doing whatever, doing something that you like. And then other ones can be a little bit more quirky and fun, okay? Gym selfies, you doing a selfie, like mirror selfies, they're disgusting, they're gross, they're giving college boy with like cum stains on his pillow vibes. Like, it's not cute. A lot of girls get the ick from that. I've heard many girls talk about that and say that, okay? It just doesn't look good. Like, who wants a man that takes photos of himself in the mirror? Not I, and not many girls, okay? Say what you will, say what you won't. Guys don't mind that girls do that, okay? Girls find it very icky. More girls than not find it very icky. So just letting you know. I think having a full body photo for guy and girl is very important. We do want to know what your body shape is looking like. It doesn't have to be a bikini photo, actually, preferably not, because you're going to, again, attract different type of attention. For guys, again, I don't want to see your pepperoni nipples. I don't need to see them right away. I would be interested to see a full length photo of you, okay? If that's okay, like just to see your shape, because for some people it is important, their shape, and everyone is entitled to have preferences about body shape. Again, it's part of the catfishing thing. Like, if you're overweight and you're making it seem like you're not, or vice versa, like, it's just not fair. It's just not fair to the person that's swiping. Like, you're catfishing. Fuck you. You wouldn't like if somebody did that to you. So just like be fucking open and honest about it, okay? Yes, it'll be more flattering. Yes, you'll probably wear more slimming clothes for this photo. Whatever. You'll probably pick the best of the best. That's fine. But as long as it's as realistic as can fucking possibly be, like, keep it fucking real with us, because then after the first date, you're guaranteed to never get a phone call back or a text back. So why are you doing that to yourself? You're setting yourself up for heartbreak, failure, disappointment, and then you're going to make your dating experience miserable. So it's all on you. Another side note, I know that some people like are quirky and want to show their personality, and everyone says like, find a way to show your personality. The problem with that is some people like don't know what's too much and like where the boundaries are with showcasing your personality. If you're making a weird fucking face and you think it's funny, I don't. Like, when I'm stepping on the app, I'm not trying to like laugh at your face. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to laugh at your face. I have seen so many guys, and I like wish I could post these photos. Like, I wish, like I used to have like a screenshot. It's bad. Like, I'm telling you, it was bad. Screenshots that I would take of like funny guys' profiles and send them to my friends, just like they're doing of you, okay? Like, I'm not the only one that did this when I was younger. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like they really think they're going to get somebody with this face. So if you don't know what is appropriate, if you are not sure, okay, if you have not been getting swipes, do me a favor, okay? Either use my dating app services, which I offer. It's a dating app audit that I do of your profile. You send me screenshots of your profile, and I tell you the honest truth about it and what you need to change and what you could improve on, and like what I would do to make it a little bit more digestible for other women, which I'll link below because obviously a lot of you guys need it. If you don't want to do that, have somebody that you trust look through your profile and be like, girl, what? Or like, boy, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, no, that's a no. Having another set of eyes view it, because sometimes you're like, oh my God, that was like quirky. That was funny. And they're like, no. You need that, okay? You need that. You need to be you, but a little bit more toned, a little bit more filtered, a little bit more modest if you want swipes. You don't want to be like too extreme, you know, because people are going to read it the wrong way. People are going to take it however they want to take it. So don't give them too much to be like, whoa, about, you know, like chill. You can do those funny faces like down the line when we're more comfortable. But like, I'm not trying to meet a guy and him throw those fucking faces where I'm like, are you having a stroke? What the fuck is going on? I'm going to end this episode here because I wanted to keep it clear and concise about your actual dating app profile with a bit of like, you know, tips and tricks sprinkled out about how to use the app. I am more than happy to do other episodes going into more detail about how to start talking to people on the app and how to get off the app and actually exchange numbers and stuff like that. If you want, let me know down below in the comments if that's something you're interested in hearing. Thank you guys so much for listening and for being here. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or subscribe and follow the podcast. It really does help me out a lot and allows me to continue doing these episodes for you, giving you real and raw dating and sex advice. If you have any requests about any future episodes or topics you want me to discuss, again, you guys know I always try and give the people what they want. Leave it in the comments. And I will see you guys back here very soon. Thank you for watching. Go clean up those socials. Go clean up that fucking dating app, okay? Profile. Go clean up that profile of yours, or delete the profile. Just delete it for now. Take a break, all right? I love you guys. Take care.